Alternative Oman Television. First, the headlines. More than 30 Palestinians are killed in Israeli raids on areas in the central Gaza Strip, and UNRWA confirms the resumption of the third vaccination campaign against polio in the northern Gaza Strip. And the United Nations condemns the violence and fighting against civilians in Sudan as the United Kingdom calls on the Security Council to take action and hold a session this month. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President José Raúl Mulino, President of the Republic of Panama, on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency President Sylvain Bertin, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, on her country's Independence Day. More than 30 Palestinians were martyred and dozens were injured in Israeli raids on areas in the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian Ministry of Health reported that 17 Palestinians were martyred in an Israeli bombing that targeted several homes in the Nusayrat camp, while other air raids targeting the Beit Lahia project and the city of Deir al-Balah in the north and center of the Strip, resulting in several deaths, most of whom were children. Meanwhile, the civil defense teams in the Gaza Strip confirmed that many martyrs are still under the rubble, and that a large number of the wounded people are in critical condition and have not received treatment due to the severe shortage of medical services and relief teams. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees, UNRWA, announced that the polio vaccination campaign in Gaza will continue despite the intensification of Israeli strikes and its recent decision to ban the agency's work. The third phase of the polio vaccination campaign in northern Gaza is scheduled to begin today, aiming to reach about 119,000 children with a second dose of polio vaccine. For its part, the Ministry of Health in Gaza confirmed in a previous statement that the occupation is trying to abort the vaccination campaign, preventing the campaign teams from reaching northern Gaza and placing obstacles in the way of its implementation, warning that the campaign is at risk of failure, which means the continued existence of the polio epidemic, which will not only threaten Gaza, but the entire surrounding area. The Lebanese Ministry of Health announced that the number of victims of the Israeli raids on the Baalbek Governorate in eastern Lebanon has risen to 52, with more than 70 wounded. Hezbollah also announced that it targeted the Israeli Palmashim airbase in southern Tel Aviv today with drones. Lebanon has been subjected to Israeli aggression since October 2023, but since the end of last September, the Israeli Air Forces have increased the pace of aerial artillery bombardment in an unprecedented manner and expanded the scope of its targeting to extend to the capital Beirut, which led to the killing and wounding of thousands of Lebanese and forcing more than 1 million people to flee their homes. The United States said it will deploy B-52 bombers, fighter jets and naval destroyers to the Middle East. The U.S. Department of Defense said the deployment of the bombers and aircraft comes as part of a redeployment of military assets as the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln and its accompanying destroyers prepare to leave the region, adding that the readjustment of its forces in the Middle East comes in response to the expansion of the conflict. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has strongly condemned the recent attacks by the Rapid Support Forces in Central Sudan, expressing concern over the large number of civilian deaths. His spokesman said, Stephane Dujarric, said that information indicates that there are large numbers of civilians killed, detained and displaced, in addition to acts of violence against civilians, including looting of homes and markets, noting that these acts constitute serious violations of international humanitarian law and human rights law, calling for an end to the war and holding accountable those who commit such serious violations. From its part, Britain, which assumed the presidency of the Security Council for the current month, said that the Council will hold a meeting on Sudan on the 12th of this month to discuss the increasing the provision of aid and ensuring that all parties provide greater protection for civilians. At least one person was killed in a Russian missile attack on a police station in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. The Ukrainian authorities said that the two missiles that targeted the station caused significant damage to homes and civilian property nearby, while more than 25 police officers and 4 civilians were seriously injured. Meanwhile, the United States announced the provision of additional military assistance to Ukraine worth of $425 million. Still to come in our news bulletin. The National Olympiad for Scientific Innovations, Robotics and Artificial Intelligence qualifiers is launched in Al Buraimi Governorate. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Royal Hospital, represented by the Medical Rehabilitation Department, in cooperation with the University of Nizwa and the Omani Physical Therapy Association, organized the second National Conference on Medical Rehabilitation under the slogan, Shaping the Future of Rehabilitation for the Year 2040. Around 250 medical and paramedical specialists from various civil and military health institutions in the Sultanate of Oman participated in the conference. Several papers were presented during the conference highlighting the importance of improving medical rehabilitation services. The conference included workshops on capacity building and service efficiency and quality management. A specialists team from the Environment Authority is conducting the 4th phase of the field survey project of the types and numbers of marine mammal species in Musandam Governorate. The field survey seeks to build a database of marine mammal sighting sites in cooperation with other relevant authorities. The specialists team surveyed 543 kilometers to identify marine mammals in the area during 43 hours. 3 species of dolphins and 2 species of whales were detected by the survey team. The survey used advanced tools and equipment to recognize marine mammals in the survey area and allocate their natural habitats. The Ministry of Social Development organized a dialogue meeting on women empowerment programs in the Governorate of Al-Dhahira. The meeting highlighted various social and economic empowerment programs for women, including rural women. The meeting discussed issues on women's personal status, in addition to entrepreneurial challenges and incentives. The meeting was attended by women from inside and outside the Governorate, offering a platform for women to exchange their expertise and ideas on various issues and challenges. The National Olympiad for Scientific Innovations, Robotics and Artificial Intelligence qualifiers were launched in Al Buraimi Governorate. The competition continued for 4 days and to select the teams participating in the final qualifiers at the national level. Students competed in drone challenges, robotics competitions and innovative ideas and proposals. 34 innovations were enlisted this year in the National Olympiad for Scientific Innovations, Robotics and artificial intelligence qualifiers in Al Braymi Governorate. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. More than 30 Palestinians are killed in Israeli raids on areas in the central Gaza Strip, and UNRWA confirms the resumption of the third vaccination campaign against polio in the northern Gaza Strip. And the United Nations condemns the violence and fighting against civilians in Sudan as the United Kingdom calls on the Security Council to take action and hold a session this month. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching. Wishing you a successful week ahead.